You know there's one skill that's worth more than most technical degrees right now? Seriously, it's the one thing that separates the people who get promoted from the ones who get replaced, and almost nobody is talking about it.
So let me ask you a question, and be honest. The next time you're on a call, I want you to notice what your brain is doing. Are you really hearing what the other person is saying? Or are you just waiting for them to take a breath so you can jump in and make your point?
Because let's be real for a second, the world is changing fast. By 2026, AI is going to be handling a lot of the technical stuff we do today. But you know the one thing it can't do? It can't replicate that human ability to connect, to actually understand, and to build real trust. That's your new secret weapon.
So if you've ever felt overlooked, or if you're worried about being left behind, you are in exactly the right place. In this explainer, I'm going to give you a simple system to stop wasting time solving the wrong problems. I'll also share the one rule that will instantly make you the most respected person in any room, and I'll give you a super simple plan to make this whole thing an automatic habit.
Okay, let's dive in. The core of the problem is something I call the waiting to talk trap. This is that moment when your mind is just racing, right? You're rehearsing your perfect comeback, your brilliant solution, and while you're doing that, you completely stop absorbing what's actually being said. You might hear the words, but you totally miss the meaning.
Just think about the two ways your brain can work here. On one side, you're just waiting for your turn. You're judging, you're preparing, you're mentally checked out. But on the other side, you're fully present. You're focused on understanding the real issue, not just the surface level words. And let me tell you, that single shift from just replying to actually understanding, it's everything. To see just how damaging this can be, let me tell you about an engineer I know. His name is Rohan. He's a brilliant guy, super smart technically, but he kept falling into this trap and it almost cost him a huge client. So Rohan was on a call with a client who was trying to explain a bug. The client starts, "So when I click the button, sometimes and bam." Before she could even finish, Rohan jumps in. He wanted to look sharp, proactive. He just assumed he knew the problem and cut her off to say he'd get right on it. And here's the real cost of that mistake. Rohan spent the next 2 hours debugging a super complex API issue that didn't even exist. The actual problem? It was a simple display bug on mobile screens. A 20-minute fix. He wasted his entire afternoon and, more importantly, the client's patience. All because he couldn't just listen for 10 more seconds.
So how do you avoid becoming Rohan? Well, you use a system. This isn't about just trying to listen harder. It's about having a clear, repeatable framework you can rely on every single time. Here it is, 3 incredibly simple steps. First, just let them finish, all the way. No matter how much you want to jump in, just don't. The most important detail is almost always in the last sentence. Second, reflect what you heard back to them. And third, ask just one, clarifying question to fill in that final blank before you act. That's it. Finish, reflect, ask. All right, now once you have that framework down, you can start building on it. The top performers I know use 2 specific tools that take their listening to a whole other level. These are the secrets that really separate the good from the great. The first tool is a super simple ratio. Remember that one rule I mentioned earlier that makes you the smartest person in the room? Well, this is it. It's the 70-30 rule. In any important conversation, your goal is to listen 70% of the time and only speak for 30%. Now, this is going to feel weird at first. We're taught to speak up to show our value, but the most influential people in any room don't talk the most. They listen the most. They soak up all the information, so when they finally do speak, their words carry maximum impact. Look, an AI can generate noise. Only you can find the signal. And the second tool is the reflect back technique. It's so simple, but it is so powerful. Before you give your opinion, before you offer a solution, you just pause and you say the magic words. So, what I'm hearing is, did I understand that correctly? This is a total game changer. Imagine saying this on a project call. It does 2 amazing things. First, it confirms you're on the same page, which prevents a huge mistake like the one Rohan made. And second, it makes the other person feel completely heard and respected. That is how you build trust that no algorithm can ever replicate.
Now this is where it gets a little interesting, because let's face it, everything is harder in a remote world. On Slack or Zoom, you lose all the body language, all the tone. It is so easy to misread the signals to make the wrong assumptions.
So you have to learn to listen with your eyes. That one-word reply on Slack, it might not be someone being rude, they could just be confused. And that silence on Zoom, it's probably not agreement. It's much more likely they're lost.
So instead of assuming the worst, just get curious. A simple, hey, would it help to jump on a quick call, can solve a problem before it even starts.
Okay, theory is great, but action is what really matters. I want you to have a ridiculously simple plan to turn this skill into a habit. Let's make this real, starting right now.
Here is your challenge. In your very next meeting, your only job is to not interrupt anyone. Not once. Just see what happens. After that meeting, take 2 minutes and write down 3 new things you learned just by being quiet. And finally, for the rest of this week, before you reply to any important message, just pause and ask yourself that one question.
When you start doing this, something powerful begins to shift. You're not guessing at solutions anymore. You stop feeling overlooked in meetings. You actually have a system for clarity. And this is the most crucial part. You are now operating in the top 10% of professionals. You're building the one human skill that makes you indispensable. You are literally becoming future-proof in a world where technical skills are becoming a commodity. So what are the key takeaways here? Number 1, you gotta escape the waiting to talk trap. Your job is to understand, not just to reply. 2, use the 3-step framework. Let them finish, reflect it back, and ask a question. 3, live by the 70-30 rule. Listen way more than you speak. And 4, use the reflect back technique to confirm everything and build that critical trust. I'll leave you with this powerful thought. That simple switch from listening with the intent to reply to listening with the intent to understand, that is the foundation of every successful career from this point forward. It's the one skill that will keep you valuable for decades. So don't just hear, actually listen.